First, you'll hear me speak, Ahmed, and then I'll
Yeah, take your time. Take your time, Muhammad.
speak something, and then I'll start with you questions. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back to Haj Radio. We're live today again, as we are every Monday, with the Walk in My Footsteps show. And inshallah, today we have a special guest with us all the way from Libya, inshallah. So far in the first couple of shows, we've interviewed Arif from Help the Homeless, and we've got that perspective of the people who live in those situations, and we've tried to battle some of the misconceptions that we as a community and as people may have about people in those situations. So apologies as always for the delay. We did have some technical difficulties, but inshallah we'll be smooth sailing from here on now. Inshallah, make dua for us to get through the rest of this day without any more technical difficulties. So we are apologies for being late. But like I said, we are continuing with our show, and this show is all about battling the misconceptions that we may have about people in other situations, people who we don't always come into contact with, and people that we don't know everything about. It's very easy for us to form misconceptions, and it can be a lot more difficult to get rid of them. So inshallah, we're trying to bring the people that we have misconceptions about onto this show so that you can hear from them directly, and inshallah this will help us all get better and clearer understandings. So we've had the homeless scenario, and last week we also spoke to a teacher from Moat Community College, and we got the insight, and we battled a lot of misconceptions about teachers, such as the thoughts that teachers don't like to have fun, or teachers just want to tell kids what to do all the time. We went through a lot of those misconceptions. But what we're doing today, inshallah, we're looking at a very interesting angle which we may not cover all the time, and we're going to be speaking to a special guest from Libya who is now a refugee living in the United Kingdom. And within our community, we often can have the misconception that when people arrive into the United Kingdom, life is very easy, the government gives them everything, and therefore we don't really need to do anything to help them. But inshallah, in this show, we're going to see if that really is the case. So I want to introduce our guest today, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam. So Ahmed, if you want to just introduce yourself, tell us your name, your age, and where you come from, inshallah.
Yes, I'm Mr. Nuruddin Abdullah. I am from Libya, and I came here in 2013 to do PhD in chemistry in the University of Leicester. So I start study in the UK. So I start with the English language. I finish my English language, and I start my course of PhD in the University of Leicester. And I have finished my degree in 2018 in the PhD of chemistry. So after that, yes.
When you came initially, you came as a student. If you just want to repeat again, just in case anybody didn't hear, what did you study, and what was your PhD in?
Yes, I study in the University of Leicester. My subject was in chemistry. In organic chemistry. Yeah.
Mashallah, something very, very difficult. But so when you came as a student, I'm assuming you came on a student visa?
Yes. I came here as a student visa, Tier 4 visa. Me and my wife and 2 kids as well.
Mashallah. And when you came here, when you first arrived into the United Kingdom, how was the situation in your home country of Libya at that time?
Yes, was okay. It's very good. It's not very good, but it's not too bad. Everything it was stable at that time. After that, when I finished my PhD, I tried to come back to my home, but the situation is very, very, very bad. It's not safe at all, especially for the kids. This is why I apply for the asylum seeker, because the situation is not safe, especially for the kids to stay at the UK.
Subhanallah. And so whilst you were studying your PhD, was your plan initially to go back to Libya? Is that what you wanted to do first before the situation deteriorated in your country?
I cannot hear you. Sorry, what did you say?
So when you were first studying your PhD,
yes,
did you want to go back to Libya first? This is before the situation became bad. Was your plan initially to go back home?
Yes, my planning, when I finish my PhD, I will come back to my country.
And this was funded by your country so that you could get this qualification and take it back to your country?
Yes.
So this is a very important point that we wanted to bring up because we have, again, a misconception generally amongst people that a lot of people come here with the intention to stay here for various different reasons. But a lot of people do come here because they want to gain an education, and they are sponsored by their home countries to come here and gain those educations because there may not be a huge abundance of people with those skills in their home countries. So like our brother Nuruddin here, he wanted to go back to Libya with that qualification. But due to the deteriorating situation in Libya, unfortunately, he wasn't able to do so. And I'm assuming, Nuruddin, that was difficult because obviously you have a connection to your home country. So it must have been difficult to not be able to go back.
Exactly. It's very difficult to come back to my country at the moment. So this is the main reason I stay here. It would be better to go back to your country because I came here just to take the qualification from the UK. I already done that, but the problem in my country at the moment, it will be very, very, very difficult for me because I am a disabled person and for my kids as well.
So
that's why I stay here.
A lot of the reason why, again, this is something we want to reiterate. People have a lot of misconceptions about why people want to stay in the United Kingdom. A lot of people think it's for financial reasons or other reasons, but it's not always the case. A lot of the times, like Nuruddin, you simply can't go back home because you're worried about the safety of your family and your children. So it's very difficult to envision going back into a place which is struggling, and you know that it'll be very difficult to financially provide for your family. So Nuruddin, after you finished your qualification and you applied for asylum,
yeah,
how did everything go then? Were you accepted straight away? Were you rejected? How did everything work after you made your asylum claim?
Yes, when I finished my PhD in 2018, I applied for the asylum in October 2018, October. So I'm waiting until the November 19, 1 year, to get the response from the Home Office. During this period, just I saved money when I was studying. I saved some money. I tried to manage my life for this year until the decision comes from the Home Office. After that, I contact with the city council when the decision come in the November 2019. I contact with the city council and they support me to give me this house and contact with some charity to support me in my life, especially for the furniture and some things for my kids. And yes.
So when you first, how long did it take for your asylum claim to be accepted? Was it rejected first or was it accepted the first time?
No, accepted from the first time, but I'm waiting 1 year.
1 year.
1 year, yes, 1 year and 1 month, exactly.
And during that 1 year, where did you live?
Yes, I'm staying in the same address because I saved some money during my study. I live in the same address in the city center in Leicester.
In Leicester. I remember there was a time where you had to move out of Leicester as well. Is that correct?
Yes. After that, I applied for the support from the Home Office, and they gave me a house in Coventry.
And during the time when you applied for that asylum claim, you were waiting 1 year. You said you supported yourself with the money that you saved during your studies. So without that money, how difficult would it have been for you? Because I know during the time of asylum, there isn't that much money that you get from the government. How much money does the government give you when you're claiming asylum?
The government doesn't give me anything after the asylum. They stop after I finish my PhD.
They stopped after your PhD. So during that 1 year, while you were waiting for that claim, you were only able to support yourself because you saved some money from the time that you were studying.
Yes, because I saved some money during my study.
SubhanAllah.
I support myself about 7 months. After that, I applied for the support from the Home Office, and they moved me out of Leicester in Coventry.
So this is again. This is again part of the difficulties that people don't know about, that a lot of people in this situation go through. So it's very difficult. Can you imagine if you've come from another country and you're living in one place and then you're told while claiming asylum you've got to move to a completely different city and that's where they're going to house you. You've just about got to know a few people and got to know some people in the community, and then you're being moved all of a sudden, and that's the only way that you're going to be housed. And if you don't accept that move, then the situation is that you have to be homeless, then you can't have anywhere to live.
Exactly. That's what exactly happened with me and my family. Exactly. They moved me in the Coventry. I stayed there 2 months. After that, the decision comes to me.
Subhanallah. And I know as well, Ahmed, if you don't mind speaking and sharing with us, if you don't want to, that's okay. But I remember there was a time you said to me that it was very difficult financially, where it was even difficult to provide your children with milk.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, in that period. Yes, I'm really struggling with my kids. Especially, I have 4 kids now. One of them was just baby, I think 1 month or something like that. I'm really struggling in that time. But at the moment, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. I know, subhanallah, Nuruddin has been through so much, but he's very, very grateful for everything that he has, alhamdulillah. But we want to just make people aware of this situation, because there are a lot of people who think when people come here, they don't have any financial needs and they don't need any support. But if at that time there was people or charities helping you, it would have made life a lot easier for you. There was times where, and Nuruddin isn't the only person to struggle with these situations. There are lots and lots of refugee families and asylum seekers who don't have access to financial support or enough financial support to even provide for basic needs. So Nuruddin wasn't trying to buy anything fancy. He was just trying to provide his children and his babies with milk and food, and even that was a struggle. So this is something that we really wanted to reiterate to you from a first-hand story. And Nuruddin isn't someone that just came into the UK looking to take anything from the system. He came for his education. He's very, very highly educated, now has a PhD, mashallah. And Nuruddin, I know from speaking to you that you have a very high level of education, alhamdulillah. So it's not easy to just pigeonhole people into one kind of category. There are lots and lots of different types of people. And just because someone is in need of help, you can't categorize them in a certain way. So Nuruddin, the other question I wanted to ask you is, when you got this house, when you got moved back into Leicester,
in June. 2020 in June.
And when you
January. Sorry.
No problem. And when you came, I remember I received some messages about you, and I know that at the time, alhamdulillah, we were able to support you with furniture, with all of the kind of things that you needed for the house. But how hard would it have been for you if you didn't have that support? If there wasn't people bringing this furniture and stuff and fridges and all of this for your house, how difficult would it have been for you to provide all of this for your family?
To be honest, it would be very, 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 very difficult if I didn't get that support. To be honest, I will wait until now to bring all these stuff. Because the other problem for me, because I am a disabled person, it's difficult to manage lots of things in my life. So the charity it supports me at the exact time. To be honest, I cannot forget they helped when they helped me, and really appreciate what they did with me and my family as well. And always I make dua for them. To be honest.
Alhamdulillah, it was a pleasure that people are able to help. But the only reason that we mentioned this is because I want people who are listening to understand that we need charities like this. So when there are charities, we have to support them, because this is very real need. There are people in our country who are in situations like Nuruddin's who need that support. There will be other families now who need this furniture, who need financial support, who need food. So just hearing from Nuruddin how important it was to receive that support at that time, I just ask everybody that's listening to not turn away the charities when they ask for help. So when they ask you for money, when they ask you for items, please give it, because there are definitely people who need that support. We wanted to take away this idea from people's mind. Because Nuruddin, you don't maybe know as much, but a lot of people here think that when people come as refugees or as asylum seekers, that everything is very easy for them, that they get everything and there is no difficulty and no struggle. So that's why we wanted to speak to you today, to just show people that it's not that easy, that there are a lot of difficulties and a lot of struggles that come. But Alhamdulillah, it's good to see that you're now in a better situation.
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. It's my life now. It's everything is set up and everything is fine. And my kids in the school as well. And Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah,
Alhamdulillah.
everything is fine. Alhamdulillah, just I need my country to come back and I will go to my country. I really miss my family there, but I don't have anything to do with them. Just I make the dua for them.
Inshallah, inshallah, Allah keep everyone safe and allow you to also return home safely as well, inshallah, to your family. But I also wanted to ask you, Nuruddin, about your plans. So you have this education, and if you are to stay in the United Kingdom, do you plan to use the education here to work or to do anything in the United Kingdom? I know that you also have a problem with your disability, so it's a little bit more difficult for you to work. If you just want to describe what you struggle with your disabilities for anyone that's listening as well.
Yes, my disability is polio in my right leg. So I'm using 2 crutches to walk. Without these crutches, I cannot walk. This is my disability. And purpose of the job, I already applied for the postdoc in many universities, but until now I didn't receive any response from them. To be honest, because the coronavirus, all the university just now they start to come back.
Yep.
So hopefully I will get some job in one of the university. Hopefully in the University of Leicester as the postdoc as the researcher. To be honest.
Inshallah. We make dua for you, Ahmed, that inshallah you are able to get one of these jobs, and inshallah you can spend some years before you go home to teach some of the people in Leicester as well, inshallah, because we know, alhamdulillah, I spent a lot of time with you. I know you have, mashallah, a very high level of intelligence, and inshallah you'll be an asset to the people of Leicester if you're able to teach. But we just wanted to hear that from you again, because another misconception people have is when people come here and they don't want to work, they just want to receive benefits. But I know this is not the case, because I know you, I know people, so many people from Syria, from Iraq, from lots of different countries, and everybody wants to work. They want to put their skills to use. There's so many people with so many different skills, and Nuruddin here has a degree which I think many people would find it very difficult to get, and you also have a PhD in the sector as well, mashallah. So Nuruddin, jazakallah khair so much for joining the show.
You will come at any time. I just would like to say, if anyone needs any help about any information, please give him my number. You can call me at any time to support them. Even the donation or any type of help you can do it with anybody need help.
Inshallah.
And thank you very much, and thank you for you and your Muhammad as well. And really appreciate what you're doing with me.
Jazakallah Ahmed. And before you go, I just want to ask everybody who's listening, because alhamdulillah, a lot of people are listening, and it's the day of Arafah, and it's a great day to make dua as well, inshallah. So anybody who's listening, we also ask that please make dua for Nuruddin and his family. Make dua that they're able to have ease, that he's able to get these jobs that he's applying for, able to provide well for his family, and that they all have a happy, successful life, and that their home country also returns to peace, inshallah. It's a great day to make dua, so inshallah we make that dua for you. But Ahmed, jazakallah khair, we'll let you go now, back to your family. Jazakallah khair so much for joining, and inshallah we'll catch up with you later.
Jazakallah khair.
Barakallah feek. Assalamu alaikum. So alhamdulillah, that was a brilliant, quick snippet into the life of a Libyan refugee, into somebody who's come into the United Kingdom, has come here because he didn't come to flee his country. He came here to study because his country was offering people the ability to come into the United Kingdom and do their studies. So he came here to study. He came here and got a PhD, mashallah. So this takes away a lot of the misconceptions that people only come here for benefits and economic gain. He came here to educate himself. He did that. And unfortunately, after finishing his education, his country fell into civil war. So inshallah, today we've gone through a lot of the misconceptions, and hopefully we all now have a better understanding and appreciation of what life can be like for people entering the United Kingdom. But now we've got around 9 minutes to go before the next show starts, and we want to introduce 2 special guests who are inshallah going to become stars of Haj Radio in the future. They're going to be running their own show moving forward, inshallah. So we're getting a lot more people onto this presenter game, inshallah. So I'll let both of them introduce themselves, inshallah. So first we've got Subain, if I've said that correctly. If not,
So, Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Subain. and I've come today with my good friend Zach, and we're hoping to create this sort of invigorating chat show between the two of us, where we'll be discussing a range of topics that I hope Zach will go into more detail with. So I hope long-time listeners will enjoy the exciting things we'll be bringing to them.
So we've got Subain, and then we've got his good friend Zach as well.
Subain gratefully introduced me. My name is Zach. I'm good friends with Subain, and we came here today to introduce ourselves, because we will hopefully be starting a new show on this radio talking about the community and how we can, what we believe might be a good idea for the community and improving our community.
Inshallah. So literally about 8 minutes to go. They're going to be kicking off their show at around 6 o'clock with Haj Radio's beloved Zahid Sheikh Zed, a drive time. So if you're driving home, keep that radio tuned in. If you're at home, stay tuned on. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you subscribe to Haj Radio. There's still another 2 weeks to go of this beautiful month of Dhul Hijjah. And during the month, inshallah, we're going to have some amazing content, educational, entertainment, and inshallah, more brothers like Zach and Subain that are going to come on and be doing these shows. So a little bit insight, what kind of stuff are you guys going to be talking about on your show?
So I think the main focus is going to be about how we can take that mentality of this is my country, I need to go back home, I shouldn't be investing in this country, it's a waste of money, I should be investing back in home, whether it's Africa, Pakistan, it doesn't matter where you're originally from, but I truly believe that if you have grew up in this country, you should feel that this is your country. It's a great place to invest and educate yourself in.
So these are two Somalian brothers from a Somalian background, and inshallah they're going to be talking a lot about culture and identity and a feeling that we do not belong here. They're saying that very strongly and very firmly we do belong here, and Haj Radio is bringing it home. We're bringing it home, inshallah. Football didn't come home, but we kept saying football is coming home, and we were happy to call everything home then. So why do we not call it home? Where is home is the really big question here. Where is home to you? Think about that, inshallah, before we join onto this show. But you guys, are you looking forward to your 6 o'clock slot?
Yes, I am.
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I definitely am as well.
Yeah. Hoping that we can give a unique angle from our own personal journeys and how we've tackled the problem and how we see it as well. And hope a lot of our viewers, or listeners, can sort of sympathize with the same, probably have the same story in their lives and have tackled the same issues. So hopefully that's what we hope.
And both of you guys you could do some really interesting stuff. So Zach, what is it that you do as a career? What have you been doing?
So I work for university. I work as an IT professional for that university. I've been working there for 3 years, and also even though I enjoy IT and IT is an interesting career, it gives you intangible skills that you can apply anywhere in the world. And so I definitely want to get into my community now, become a community leader, and then hopefully, as I mentioned, change the whole mindset of this is my country, and hopefully people start feeling this is their country and grow in their country. And
same with you, Subain. What's your background? What do you do? What are you working on?
So at the moment, I'm helping Zach a lot in the community in St. Matthews, especially working with Abdi Kaif and Sakopa. But my background is in diplomacy and politics, and I've been working abroad for a long time. So since July 2016 until just recently, like August 2020. So just last year, I've been living abroad in Japan, as an English teacher, somewhat of a pseudo diplomat of sorts, and my life it started in essence in Leicester as well. So grew up in Leicester, in Evington, and what I'm hoping to do now is sort of just give back to the community. I've sort of learnt in this community in Leicester, grew up here.
You were born in grew up in Evington, not born, but you grew up in Evington, right?
Born in Somalia, and grew up here since I was about 6 or 7.
Which part of Leicester did you grow up in?
Mostly Evington.
Evington, so literally home of Haj Radio. This is where Subain grew up, so perfect guy to come here and talk to us, inshallah. We've got another minute to go, so without getting into anything too deep, we want people to tune in at 6 o'clock. You're going to hear Zed talk for a little while, and then these guys are going to join at 6:30. I just got one question for you, Subain, is what was your favorite food in Japan?
Oh, it would have to be something called zaru soba.
What exactly is that?
Cold noodles.
Cold noodles.
Soba is a type of noodle, and you have it in a cold broth, and it's perfect for the summer. So as everyone knows right now, it's sweltering outside. So it's something I'm really craving at this moment. So a bit of zaru soba would really go down well right now.
Wow, mashallah. See, a great inspiration, inshallah, for more of us to travel out, learn about new foods, and inshallah bring these foods home. Hopefully one day we'll get to also try this. But Jazakallah khair to everyone for joining. 6 o'clock, our beloved Zed will be here, and then we'll have Subayn and Zat back at 6:30 talking